I had to tell somebody.
Oh, no, it's interesting.
Okay. Test Aleph. Test Aleph?
Yeah.
Yeah. A beehive is located in the doorway of a house with its mouth outdoors. An olive-sized piece of corpse is located outdoors, either below the hive or above it. Any item that is directly below or above the olive-sized piece becomes tummy. Whatever is not directly below or above the olive-sized piece and whatever is inside either the hive or the house remains tahor. If the olive-sized piece is made inside the house, only that which is inside the house becomes tummy. If it is inside the hive, everything becomes tummy. If the hive is one handbreadth above the ground and there's tumor below it, inside the house or above the hive, everything becomes tummy except for that which is inside the hive. If the tumor is inside the hive, everything becomes tummy. In that case, in what case does this apply? When the hive is a utensil with windows. However, if it was broken and stuffed with straw, if the windows were covered, or what is considered covered, when there is no window the size of a foot handbreadth or an olive-sized piece of corpse is located underneath the hive, utensils directly below the olive-sized piece or as deep as one can go become tummy. If the olive-sized piece is above the hive, the utensils directly above the olive-sized piece up to the sky become tummy. If the olive-sized piece is inside the house, only the house becomes tummy. And if the olive-sized piece is inside the hive, only that which is inside becomes tummy.
Okay. All right. Now, for today's Mishnayos, we're going to see more and more of these configurations. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to play a little game over here. You're going to cover over your Mishnah. You're not even going to look inside the Mishnah. I'm going to tell you the case, and you're going to work out the fluid dynamics of where the tumah goes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Should I do that?
Yes. Okay. So our setup over here is now we've got this broken kli. We said now it's broken and it's stuffed with straw, so it's no longer functioning as a kli. It's now functioning properly as an ohel, that both screens and spreads tumah. Okay, and now it's been raised. It's propped up a tefach above the ground. Okay, you got the picture. So you've got this thing that's halfway through the door, halfway out. The mouth is facing outwards. Okay, and it's propped up a tefach above the ground, which means that it's basically forming an ohel above the ground. The inside is also an ohel, and then it goes up to the sky. Okay. The tumah is, okay, the first case is tumah tachteha. The tumah is on the ground underneath this kli. Where is the tumah going to flow?
Where is underneath the kli?
The tumah is underneath the kli. So first of all, is it an ohel to spread tumah?
It's not an ohel. It's not. I don't think it is an ohel.
It is an ohel to spread tumah. That's the answer. It is an ohel to spread tumah, because even a kli is an ohel to spread tumah. Spreading is easy. It's screening that's difficult, but this one even screens. Okay, so it's a tumah to spread. It's an ohel to spread tumah. So where's the tumah going to spread to?
Is it going to go to the sides? If that, I was thinking it would go up.
Sides, and remember, one side is inside the house.
Right.
So the tumah is going to spread into the house.
Right.
What about the top? Does it break through into the kli itself or above it?
I don't think it breaks. We had somewhere it goes up to Shemayim.
Yeah, but in this case, we said it's an ohel to screen as well.
Okay.
If it can screen, then it stops. That's it.
Right.
So we'll see in the Mishnah over here. Tumah tachtea or b'bayis tachtea b'bayis tamei. So only it's underneath and the house become tamei. Okay, that's what we just said. Okay, next case. Don't look. Tocha. Okay, tocha gavator, but the inside and the upside and the top are tahor. What happens? You've got this kli, which is an ohel both inside and both on the top and on the bottom. There's tumah inside the kli, and remember, its mouth is facing outwards. Okay, where does the tumah spread to?
It can't go up. It can't go up. It's going to go should go out. It should go straight out. It should go straight out.
So is anything else tamei other than the kli itself? No. Good. Well done. I could see you were getting there. Ein tamei ela tocha. What happens?
I have a hand on here, so I do.
What happens if the tumah is on top of the kli? Where does the tumah go to?
Over the top of the kli, it should go up, and then
up to
that big screen.
Does it go anywhere else?
Would it go sideways then?
Would it go anywhere else?
It's on top of the cleat. Would it go down? I don't know if it will go down. It's on top. I would think it would just go up and sideways.
Why sideways?
Out, and it will go out. It will go out.
All it's already outside. It's already on top of the clee. It's in open air, pointing up.
Right. That's going straight up to Shemayim.
And underneath it is a clee that's screening it. So there's an ohel underneath it, so that it can't go down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. That was Mishnah Daled.
Okay.
All right. So let's do the same in Mishnah Hey. When is this everything that we said up until now? When is this true? Up until now, we've been talking about the mouth of the clee is facing outwards. Now we're going to flip the clee around. So its mouth is facing inward, is inside. Okay. So half of it is outside, half of it is inside, but the mouth of the clee is now facing inwards. And now we're back to our original case where it is a clee. Okay. The clee itself is impervious to tumah, but its contents are not. Okay, so whatever's in it might be kalim inside it, might be food inside it. Okay, and we're gonna be wanting to know what's the status of that. Okay, okay, so now the kli is sitting across the threshold, the mouth is facing inwards, and there's a kazais min hameis underneath the kli outside. Okay, so now remember the rules of this kli. Because it's a kli, it can only spread tumah if it's an ohel, but it cannot block tumah as an ohel. Okay, but it's also impervious to tumah from the outside. Okay, so if there's no tumah coming in through its mouth, then its contents will remain tahor. Mm-hmm. But it also cannot block tumah. So now tell me what's going to happen. You've got the kli resting on the ground, and squeezed between the kli and the ground is kazayas min hameis. What's going to happen to the tumah?
It's impervious to the tumah. Right?
So the inside the kli is impervious to the tumah. Will it block the tumah from going up and down?
It's underneath the kli, so it should block it. It shouldn't be able to go up.
Remember, that's the thing, is that because it's now a kli, because it's got the name of a kli on it, it can only spread tumah, it cannot block it.
So it spreads to the sides.
So okay, but underneath it, if it's underneath, there's nothing to spread either, because because you need a tefach. You need a tefach in order for the tumah to spread.
Right.
So all that's going to happen is that underneath the tumah, if there's anything buried in the ground under the tumah, it's going to go down. And it's also going to skip the airspace inside the kli and just go straight up. Because the kli is protected. So let's see this inside. Okay, so or even if the tumah is resting on top of the kli outside. Everything in the vertical line of the kazayas, Tachteha v'gaba, the top and the bottom, tame. That's everything that's in the vertical line. Okay. So anything that's not in the vertical line, the interior of the kli and the house are all tahor. Now what happens if the tumah is inside the kli? So the tumah is inside the kli, and the kli presumably is more than a tefach wide.
Right.
Okay, so where's the tumah going to go to?
And we said
the tumah. Remember, tumah always wants to escape. Tumah wants to get out.
It's going to go out.
And where's out?
Out is to the I say to the right. It's outside where the kli is. It's outside. It's half is inside, half is outside.
The tumah starts out inside the kli. You've got the kazais min hameis inside the kli.
Right.
The tumah going to escape too.
Escape out, and we'll escape into the house also.
Into the house, yes. The tumah is going to escape into the house. Boom, the house is tameh. Okay. Now, not only that, but because the kli itself is an ohel that spreads tumah, everything inside the whole area of the kli now is tameh. And because it's a kli, it can only spread tumah. It cannot screen tumah, which means that all the airspace above the kli is also tamei. And
Right.
all the ground space below the kli is also tamei because it's spread it nicely and it can't block it. So everything, so this is your worst case scenario where everything, the kli, the interior of the kli, the area above, the area below, and the house are all tamei. Okay. Mishna Vav, Haisa gavoa min haaretz tefach. Now, what happens if the kli is lifted, is lifted a tefach above the ground? So now what does that extra tefach do? It makes ohel underneath it.
I need to tell me, right.
Okay. Tumah tachteha. So what happens if the tumah is now underneath it? You're going to have the same situation where the tumah is going to spread everywhere underneath the kli, which includes inside the house. Boom, inside the house. Boom, once it's inside the house and the mouth of the kli is open into the house, the tumah is going to go into the kli as well. And of course, it's all going to spread above the kli as well because this ohel can spread but not block. Okay, I said gavoa min haaretz tefach. Tuma tachtea or babais or besocha or al gaba. It doesn't matter where you put this kazais of min haaretz, anywhere in the story, it's all going to become tamei. Okay, and that is it for today's Mishnahs.
Good.
Done.
All right. Hey Vav. How so? If an olive pressing basket was placed on top of a pit or cistern that is inside a house, the contents of the pit or cistern remain tahor. However, if an olive pressing basket was placed on top of either a well that is level to the floor of the house or a broken basket, the contents of the well or the basket remains tummy. On the other hand, if a flat board or a kneading board without sides was placed on top of either a well that is level to the floor of the house or the top of a broken basket, the contents remain tahor. This is because utensils combined with walls of a structure to curtail tumah only when there are walls. How high must the walls be to block tumah? One tefach. However, if half a tefach is from a wall and the other half of a tefach is from an olive pressing basket, it is not considered to be a wall. Only a wall when one of them is a hand tefachim by itself. Just as they curtail tumah when they are inside, so do they curtail tumah when they are outside. How so? An olive pressing basket is placed on the pegs outside a house. If there's tumah underneath the olive pressing basket, utensils remain tahor. If the olive pressing basket is placed on pegs next to the wall of a courtyard or on the wall of a garden, it does not control tumah. And a beam is placed between two walls, and a pit is suspended from the beam. If there is a tumah beneath the beam, utensils inside the pot are tahor by Rabbi Akiva, but they become room tahor. No, I'm sorry, they're root tahor by Rabbi Akiva, and they're root tamei by this common. Man and utensils become roofs to convey tumah, but not to sustain something as tahor. How so? 4 people are holding a slab of stone. If there is tumah below the slab, the utensils on the top of it become tamei. If there is tumah above the utensils, underneath it becomes tamei. Rabbi Eliezer declares them tahor. The slab is placed on 4 utensils, even utensils made of dung, stone, or unbaked clay. If there is tumah beneath the utensils, on top of it become tamei, and if there's tumah above it, the utensils underneath become tamei. I made a mistake. All right. The slab is placed on 4 stones on a living creature. If there is tumah underneath the slab, the utensils on top of it remain tahor. If there is tumah above it, the utensils underneath it remain tahor. Okay.
Okay.
Right along, we have Caleb. Okay, test dollar. No.
Good.
Solid good. There are 3 mats. A mat designed for sitting on is acceptable to becoming tamei with midges tumah. A mat of dye is susceptible to becoming tamei with corpse tumah, and the mat of presses is tahor from any form of tumah. There are 3 water skins and 3 shepherd pouches. Those that contain the prescribed amount are susceptible to becoming tumah with midges tumah. Those that cannot contain the prescribed amount are susceptible to becoming tamei with corpse tumah, and those made of fish skin are tahor from any form of tumah. There are 3 animal hides. A hide designed as a rug, susceptible to becoming tamei with midges tumah. A hide used for a wrapping for utensils, susceptible to becoming tamei and with a corpse tumah, and a hide intended for use as straps or as sandals as tahor from any form of tumah.
Okay.
And tamid. Okay. Daled. The Kohen arranged the large pyre toward the east, and the pyre's face was toward the east, and the ends of the inner logs would touch its mound, and there was space between the logs, and they would kindle the chips from there. They selected from there fine wood of a fig tree to arrange the second pyre for the incense. Opposite the southwest corner, draw 4 amos northward, from the north, from the corner, an estimated 5 sods of coal. And on Sabbath, an estimated 8 sods of coals, for there I would place the 2 spoonfuls of frankincense on the showbread. The limbs and the fats that were not consumed during the night, the Kohanim returned them to the fire. They continued the 2 pyres with fire, and the Kohanim descended and came into the chamber of stone. The appointed one said to them, "Come and cast lots. Who slaughters the Tamid offering? Who throws its blood? Who clears the ash from the inner altar? Clears the ash from the menorah? Who brings the limbs to the top of the Tamid up to the ramp of the altar? The head and the right hind leg, the forelegs, the fat of the tail and the hind leg, the fat of the chest and the neck, the 2 flanks, the intestines and the fine flour, and the chavitim and the wine. They cast lots. The one who won, won."
Okay.
Idios. Aleph. Rabbi Yehuda ben Bava testified concerning 5 things. The first that we, the court, caused certain minors to refuse to continue the marriage. And he testified that 40-day-old wine was poured as a libation on the altar. And he testified about the morning Talmud that it may offer it until 4 hours of the day. Sorry, I missed the page here. 4 hours of the day. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda, no, I'm sorry. He testified that we allow a woman to marry based on one witness, and we testified that a rooster was once stoned in Jerusalem for killing a person.
Oh, wait. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, you skipped that bit. Okay, fine.
I skipped. And he testified that 40-day-old wine was poured on a libation on the altar, and he testified about the morning Talmud that it may be offered until 4 hours of the day. Rabbi Yeshua and Rabbi Nechaniah ben Elinsan, the leader of Kafar Bavli, testified concerning a limb of a corpse. That is tummy, for Rabbi Eliezer says they did not say this except regarding a limb from a living person. They said to Rabbi Eliezer, "Is it not a kavachomer? Even if regarding a living person who inherently is tahor, the limb that becomes detached from him is tameh. Then regarding a corpse which is inherently tameh, is it not logical that a limb that becomes detached from it should become tameh?" Rabbi Eliezer said to them, "They did not say that a limb transmits tumah except regarding a limb that was severed from a living person. Alternatively, the tumah emanating from living is in a sense greater than the tumah emanating from the dead. For a living sovereign, is tummy a couch or a seat that is underneath him to contaminate a person? Who touches the couch or seat and to contaminate his clothes and his eyes, so he renders tummy that which is above him and that rests on him with a slight tumah. And to contaminate foods and beverages only whereas a corpse does not contaminate in this manner." Okay. Gimel. Regarding an olive volume of more flesh that becomes attached from a limb that had been severed from a living person, but Elias declares the tummy, whereas Rabbi Yeshua and the Kumya declare a tahu. Regarding a bone fragment the size of a barley corn or greater that becomes attached from a limb that has been severed from a living person, but Kumya declares the tummy, where Elias and Rabbi Yeshua declare a tahu. He said to Rabbi Eliezer, "On what basis did you see fit to declare tummy and olive volume of flesh that became detached from the severed person of a living person?" He's replied, "We find that the severed limb of a living person is like a complete corpse. It follows that just as regarding a corpse, the law is that an olive's volume of flesh that becomes detached from his tummy, so too regarding the severed limb of a living person. An olive's volume of flesh that becomes detached from it should become tummy." He said to Rabbi Eliezer, "No, if you declare tummy an olive's volume of flesh that becomes detached from a corpse, this is logical, since you also declare tummy a bone fragment the size of a barley corn that became detached from it. Can you likewise declare tummy an olive vial of flesh that become tummies from the severed limb of a living person, when you yourself declare tahor a bone fragment the size of a barley corn that becomes detached from it?" He said to Rabbi Yehuda, "On what basis did you see fit to declare tummy a bone fragment of the size of a barley corn that becomes detached from the severed limb of a living person?" He replied, "We find that the severed limb of a living person is like a complete corpse. It follows that just as regarding a corpse, it follows, of course, the law is that the bone fragment is the size of a barley corn that becomes detached from it is tummy. So too regarding the severed limb of a living person, a bone fragment the size of a barley corn that becomes detached from it should be tummy." They said to him, "No, if you declare tummy a bone fragment the size of a barley corn that becomes detached from a corpse, this is logical, since you also declare tummy an olive volume of flesh that becomes detached from it. Can you likewise declare tummy a bone fragment the size of a barley corn that becomes detached from the severed limb of a living person, when you yourselves declare an olive volume of flesh that becomes detached from it?" They said to Rabbi Eliezer, "On what basis do you see fit to divide your opinion? Either declare both of them tummy or declare both of them tahor." They said to Rabbi Nechunya, "On what basis did you see fit to divide your opinion? Either declare both of them tummy or declare both of them tahor." And Nechunya said to them, "The tummy of the bones is greater than the tumor of the flesh. For a piece of flesh that is detached from a living person is tahor. There's a limb that becomes attached from a living person, and in its complete form is tummy. Alternatively, an olive's volume of flesh transmits tumor through contact, through carrying, via a roof, and similarly, the majority of the bone and the cell can transmit tumor through contact. So carrying via a roof. Now, if the flesh is missing, the transmit volume is completely tower. But if the part of the majority of the bones in the skeleton is missing, the lower that even though the remainder is tower, and the spectator is precluded from transmitting tumor via roof, it still transmits tumor through contact and through carrying. Alternatively, when all flesh of the corpse is less than an olive's volume is measured, it is tahor. But with respect to the majority of the structure and the numeric majority of the bones of a corpse, even though they do not measure a quarter aloud, they are tame. They said to Rabbi Yeshua, on what basis did you see fit to do both of them? Tahor, Rabbi Yeshua said, no. If you said regarding a corpse, since a corpse is subject to a majority, a quarter cob, and a corpse tusk, so you say the same regarding a limb severed from a living person, which is not subject to a majority, a quarter cob, and a corpse dust. Okay.
Hey, that was a super long one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Copy.
Okay. Valid.
We may not write long contracts during Kol HaMoed. However, if he does not trust him, or if he is standing, let me see, or if he is standing, or if he is sitting, nothing to eat, then he may write. We may not write book of scripture nor tefillin or mezuzahs during Kol HaMoed. We may not correct a single letter, even the Torah scroll of the temple court. If Yehuda says a person may write tefillin or mezuzahs for his own personal use, and he may spin the blue thread on his thigh. He who buries his dead relative 3 days before a festival has the edict of 7 days of mourning annulled. He who buries his dead relative 8 days before a festival has the edict of 30 days of mourning annulled. This is so because they said Sabbath is included in the period of mourning, but does not interrupt its festivals, however, interrupt when they are not included. But Eliezer says, from the time of the temple was destroyed, Shavuos is like the Shabbos. But Gamil says, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are like festivals. And Comment, however, did not agree with either of the two. Rather, Shavuos is like the festivals, and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are like the Sabbath.
And the halacha is not like either any of them. All the festivals are like festivals, and Shabbos is Shabbos. So they all have the halacha of interrupting the shiva, but not counting towards it. If the funeral is like on Chol HaMoed, then everything will wait.
Valentine. If one plants one row on his and one row on his neighbors, and a private road or a public road is in the middle, or a fence lower than 10 tefachim, but they combine. Higher than 10 tefachim, they do not combine. But Yehuda says if one interlines with them above, they combine. And if one plants 2 rows, if there are not 8 cubits between them, they may not plant seeds there. If there were 3, there are not 16 cubits between one row and the other, he may not bring seeds there. Eliezer ben Yaakov says in the name of Hananiah ben Ninya, in the middle one, even if the middle one was like waste, and there were not 16 cubits between one row and the other, they may not bring seeds there, though they have planted them from the first, it would be permitted with 8 cubits. If one planted his vineyard in 6 cubits apart, he may bring seeds there. But Yehuda said it happened in Tazmon that a man planted his vineyard 16 cubits apart, and he turned the tips of the branches of 2 rows to one side, and he plowed the plowed ground. And the following year, he turned the tips of the branches to the other side, and he sowed the fallow ground. And the matter came before the comment, and it permitted it. The mayor, Reb Shimon, said, if one planted his vineyard 8 cubits apart, is also permitted. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, great. Have a nice day.
Bye. Bye.